Good evening, everyone. This is Deidre with Are You a CPS Victim Like Me? I might have an echo, so if I do, I apologize to any listeners out there, but I wanted to still push forward with the show. And bear with me for anybody that's listening if my audio is not too great. I told Tiffany that she might have to do most of the talking, and Darren might too if that's the case. But anybody out there watching, I do these shows every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Pacific time because I was once a mother that went through a CPS case myself. And I'm still fighting currently to hopefully get my 3 boys home one day soon, hopefully. And I have 2 co-hosts that are so lovely to join me and support me on my show, which are also CPS parents and advocates that have gone through the system, and their knowledge is key to bring here to the show for all the listeners. If you want to be a guest on my show in the future, you can always call the number on the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, and the producer, Grace, will get you scheduled, and then you can come on and share your story, how you've been a victim of anything to do related with CPS. So with having said that, I always like to say the other part, subscribe to Mr. Vincent W. Davis's platform. This is who I do my show under. He's an attorney out of Southern California. And that little tidbit side note, if you come on the show and be a guest, you will get 15 minutes free consultation in the future with him to maybe help you with a case that you're still fighting for. So other than that, we, again, had some confusions with the guest scheduled for tonight. So we're going to go forward with not having a guest. But I think with having said that, last night, Darren and Tiffany had on one of their shows that they do under, their YouTube shows, Tiff and the Punisher. I think they had somebody on last night as a guest that I could probably share more to you about. But if anybody wants to watch it, his name is David Weigel, and I believe he is correct me if I'm wrong, but a Wall Street Journal business fiduciary or something like that, or financial fiduciary, right? I don't know. But basically, he has a lot of clout when it comes to name-wise. He obviously has money because of his job time. He's doing it for a long time. But he went through a similar situation in family court in his, own personal life. And what he's trying to do now, I think, is what all of us parents or anybody related with a case of CPS was always hoping for and working towards, like us doing these shows. But man, oh man, I got off of that show last night. I don't know about you, but I was like, I'm ready. Sign me up. 3-minute video, I got it. He put fire underneath you to where every parent has it. I think, Tiffany, you said it. You're like, if everybody would take the pain that they have from going through a case or just witnessing anything about it and turn it into like this passion that this guy has, I mean, I don't even think CPS would still be around. I mean, we would all come together. And just because I didn't want to forget, he had made a statement that I think everybody was also relatable to. We all do this for one cause and one cause only. It's to bring our kids back home or have them remain in the home. Our families are being torn apart nowadays and just totally ostracized, you might as well call it. And he made a comment as in, what did I say? Shouldn't be 3,000 Facebook groups. It should just be basically 1 or 5, not 3,000. I mean, we all need to come together as a team and know what we're focusing on. It's not about who's got more or who's got this. No, we really need to all just come together. It's the same cause, same fight, and use each other. And he also made another statement, something along the lines of, men need to be more like women and women need to be more like men. And he gave an example and he said, basically, women, you might not like this, but, you're basically too emotional and you need to go back in the days in history, where there was an army, there was one guy in charge and all the other men came together and followed behind type of thing. We all need to come together and all know what we're focusing on. And it really made sense though. And the reason why I brought him up is because, again, I think someone made a comment on the show, something like, this guy is basically what we've all been waiting for. Where has he been? Because like he said, he's somebody that's not really like the norm. Most people are either low income or have been depleted by all their income or savings or whatnot by this corruption, I guess you'd say. And he fortunately was able to keep what he called his hedge fund, or is that what he said? At first I was like, what is he talking about? Does he own a line business or something? And then I'm like, oh, I get it. As in his main job, his business, it pays his bills, it keeps his hedge fund. I'm like, he's speaking over me a little bit, but no, really, he brought the passion like we parents have with these shows, but he brought, like he said, the clout, so to speak. He's got money to put into this cause, and he's got kind of the knowledge as far as like you said, isn't he into fraud? Like figuring out fraud in business ways, numbers or whatnot, right? And so if you take that and bring it out to like CPS in that way, the truth is the truth. Like there's just no lying about it when you look at all the facts and the numbers and whatnot. But anyways, that's enough about me rambling. I was just so fired up from him last night. I was like, woo-wee! He like, I don't know. There's just something about it. But I know you sent me an article, Tiffany, something about foster care versus what's a P word? I'm thinking of
family
what was the
preservation.
title? Preservation, yeah. And so obviously I didn't get a chance to read it, but I know that you thought maybe that's something that we could talk about. Or Darren, if you have anything else you want to lead with, I mean, feel free to take the floor and speak your CPS knowledge. Who's first?
No, go ahead. Whatever.
Tiffany?
Darren, is our show live?
Yes, it is.
Okay, good. Well, first of all, I absolutely love Dave. Okay. And he does have the fire. And when I talked to him before he actually came on the show, he said, "Girl, I just love your style. You have balls of stone."
Kamikaze. You're a kamikaze.
What? Yeah, and on the show he called me a kamikaze.
Oh yeah, and just so I don't forget, speak a little bit too about the person that you guys did on your show the other day as well, the news article, because that one was the first one that I was all excited about. Like, who is this lady? Like, because you're getting this information out there like perfectly, and then to know that you didn't even know Darren was filming it live, I thought it was like, that's funny because I'm watching it live, like, whoa. But no, yeah. So
Okay,
speak about that too afterwards.
Well, let's talk about that because the girls that I was actually talking about live here, and somebody had actually sent me a video of her. She's actually coming on our show on Tuesday. So I reached out to the paper and I just sent a little email. I said, "Do you want to know the truth about CPS? Contact me." And they did.
Wow.
And I told Darren,
Wow.
I said, "Look, we're going to be interviewed by my local newspaper. And I'm bringing you on." And I said, "I want to record it." I thought he was going to record it. So we set the time and the date.
I know, because you guys never gave an intro to who she was. So that's why I was like, did I miss something?
So
it was a last minute decision.
I wanted her to come on the show, but she said she has to use this recorder or whatever. I said, "I don't care. It can be on the phone." So it was very interesting. I will tell you that I've already pissed off a lot of people in my town, and they're really going to be pissed now because I really put it out there. Okay. And I'm not retracting anything.
Now, is it up to her whether or not she gets to post it?
Oh no, she's an independent writer. She can write whatever she wants.
But the newspaper has to accept it?
Huh?
Like, does the newspaper have to accept her article and put it in the paper?
Oh, they're going to put it in the paper. I'm going to tell you why they're going to put it in the paper. Because the girl that actually spoke, they put her in the paper talking about CPS here.
Okay.
So all I said, if you want to know the truth about CPS, contact me. And I had an hour later, I had an email. I definitely want to speak with you. The same day that happened, I was contacted by a law school here in Richmond, Virginia, because the lawyer that I know was on our show, Valerie. She sent me an email and said, "We are starting a committee to reform the welfare, and I want you on it." And my reply was, "Yes, I would love to."
Wow, that's cool. That's better than saying, "I'll put you through law school." I thought they were going to say, "We want you to go through law school. We'll pay for you." Well, go fight for these kids.
Ironically, I've had 5 lawyers over my lifetime want to put me through law school. The very last one, oh my God, he hounded me Oh no, Tiffany, I'm putting you through law school. And I'm like, no. He's like, yes, I am. And he kept asking me. Finally, he said, this is exactly what he said to me. When I cross state lines into Virginia, I'm putting you in law school and you're going to work for me. That's what he said.
Well, hey, he sees that you have the passion too. That's like seriously the truth though. The same way that he fought David, this guy yesterday, is what I've always gotten from you as well. It's just the way that he brought it from that professional level. You know what we're all talking about, like Wall Street or this or that. That's what right away alerts people, like he called the norms or the normalcies or whatever, like the people that have never been affected by CPS or look at you and be like, oh, you got your kids taken? Yeah, that's on you. Like, there's no way all the courts could be corrupt. It's really you. Like, even my mom to this day, when I tell her stuff like, Mom, they're like literally trafficking kids and stealing them and kidnapping them, she's like, oh, yeah, you've really gone off the edge. Like, you're just way out there. Like, they're kidnapping them, really? And I'm like, yeah, just like you've kidnapped them for me. Like, same thing. You know, you're guilty as charged as well. But again, she just wants to make it seem like I've really just lost it, you know, because she's never thought that they've ever done anything wrong. She thinks like everyone else does, that they're just doing what they're supposed to, and that if you would have got your kids back, you would have gotten them back by now. Like, there's something you're still not doing right, apparently. I was like, okay, that's how you feel, but you're doing something right by keeping them and all the money. You know what I mean? Like, that's the right way to go, you know. But it is what it is. But again, I really liked the fact that I feel like recently, I don't know, like maybe it's Trump or what, but all these little tidbits that you guys are doing and getting connected with, and I hate to keep quoting him, but really the video's that good. He also said at one point, like, we might have never crossed paths before. Like, we might have never run into each other, but here we are, and we're all in the same bucket. Like, fucking work together. Start working together, you know? And it's true, though. But with the article, too, that's what I mean. Like, things are just coming out more, I feel like, and maybe it is true. Maybe it is our time to finally
the one thing that is not going to change about me, no matter who I work with, is I have a big mouth. I'm not afraid to use it, and I'm not afraid to call people out. I just have to watch what I say and do here because of the organization.
It's like a professional type of thing. Well, yeah, that's another thing, though. Crazy you bring that up, Darren. Talk whenever you want, because I feel like I'm talking a lot. But
Yeah, no, go
there's
ahead.
a point when we realize, okay, yes, it is YouTube. Yes, it is considered like a social media platform. But you know what? That's what's working in our day and age with getting things across and everybody's on. I get it. But really, sometimes if you sit back and look at it and they say the whole algorithm and likes and who's getting the attention. I've looked at videos, for instance, let's say your video last night, and I watched it, and I know there was at least a handful of people currently watching it because they were putting live comments. I go to look up the video again this morning, and I swear to you, it said 5 views. I'm thinking to myself, 5 views, really? I could swear that there was at least 5 of us watching it at the time it was live. And I know there has to have been a few more people since then. I really, truly wonder if, one, because they have such protection of what's said, who says it, and where's it coming from, like control as far as take you down or cut your show off, but also with that too, do they really maybe have control of how many views you're really getting and allow so many so that you don't get more attention than allowed or need be? I mean, I don't know. I just feel like, how will we really know? But maybe with this guy too, because he's all into fraud and numbers and AI. I mean, you never know, but it just made me think that too, because I wonder how some people's shows can get shut down because they're speaking about what they don't want to hear. But then other people can have like 12 million like followers, and it's like a subject that you're like, wow, shouldn't they be getting shut down? So again, I just wonder how that really plays out too.
Well,
because I feel like that's why we're silenced most of the time. It's because we're not allowed to let our information get out there.
Well, we're expanding, okay? So we're not just going to be on YouTube. I mean, this is the main platform, but we don't want to get huge, because if they're shadow banning us now, they might completely shut us down, because they say we are controversial. We're spreading controversy. But here's the thing. There's nobody more controversial than the government.
Yeah. And I don't see how, when you're speaking about something with such transparency and truthness, how anybody can really get upset with what you're speaking about if it's really true. If it's really true what we're saying and the facts are happening on a day-to-day basis with innocent children and families, wouldn't you think everybody would kind of want to listen in and be like, wait, what's going on? Like, let me get a part of that and help like these people, because that's horrible. I mean, literally.
It doesn't work that way. People
I know, it
would
just sounds like
rather be lied to and drink the Kool-Aid than hear the truth and get their feelings hurt.
yeah. Or know the truth and not want to accept it. Not really
Right.
think that this is what we live in today. You know, they want to be in that fake reality of, no, they didn't take my kids, so I'm not going to believe they took yours. I'm going to keep going on my merry way, you know?
Well, last night there was another meeting and I got the whole 2-hour video. I'm going to send it to Darren because I had to skip through it just to get to these girls, these women. I am so proud of these people in my area who are standing up. But this is what makes me mad. These people that, because I live in the county, I don't live in the city. These people hear them, but they're not listening to them. Had a social worker laugh in front of one of the girls' faces. Now, let me tell you something. They better be glad I wasn't there, because I would have had color of law forms filled out, signed and notarized, and because you only get 3 minutes, would have spoke for 2, and the last 30 seconds for each one of those social workers, I would have walked over and served them in front of God and everybody. Stay away from these people.
Yeah. But that just goes hand in hand with the fact that most of us victims, if you want to call them, right, or parents or whatever, that have gone through the system, going through the system, whatever, because we don't know as much as you've taught yourself and been through so many years of doing this. Again, you have to have the knowledge to be able to take the passion too sometimes. I mean, I feel like I have the passion, but most of the time I don't feel confident enough in doing what you just said you would have done. I mean, I wouldn't have known that I could have been social workers, but if I would have known that what I was doing was legal and I'm allowed to, damn well better believe I would have been right there behind you. Like, yeah, here we go. You know, but again, all of us parents just don't really, again, know our rights or know what we're allowed to do or not do, and, you know, that sort of thing. Because again, aren't these girls still facing basically what you want to call retaliation from any kind of way for speaking up on and calling these people out though? Right?
Well, here's the good thing. Right now, this issue is so hot in my area, they're not going to retaliate on any of these people that spoke out yet. They're going to wait till it calms down and the Winchester Gazette stops writing about it. And then they're going to go after them. But here, they're going to, I call them my girls now. Oh, they're going to be ready because we're having a meeting. And I am going to teach them how to stand up to these people. And I can't say what I want to say on here because, you know, this isn't our show. We're just hosts or guests. But you can best believe you better tune in on Tuesday. Tune in on Tuesday.
Oh, yeah, that's another thing. You know, I'm always looking and contacting people to come on and be a guest on, you know, the show. And so I go through all Facebook groups that you guys are all connected to and kind of like, you know, look at their page and see how active they are and if they have something that they think that they would want to talk about. So I actually find a lot of guests and they show interest and they say yes. They give me their email. I send it to my producer and I kind of like put them on a calendar and schedule them. No jokes. The day of, I always tell them, I'll contact you the day of. We could do a brief pre-show call to kind of go over the format of the show if they don't know anything about it, you know, and then, you know, log into the show type of thing. Kid you not, I think I've been doing this now for maybe 2 months straight of really trying to find my own guests. And I have literally almost found a guest every week, but the day of, it's like, I don't know if they get cold feet or if they really second guess themselves. And it's just, again, frustrating to feel like, it's just going back to the same dynamic we were talking about, and the fact that they want to come on and speak about it, but they, again, don't know if they're going to get in trouble if they still have an open case, or how are other people going to find them or look at them. And so, again, I think it just goes back to, yes, teach yourself as much as you can, but don't be afraid to also stand up for yourself and do what's best, because at the end of the day, it's your kids that are either going to continue to suffer or hopefully come back home or remain home because of what you're doing to stand up. I look back at my case in so many different scenarios now that I've kind of learned what I've learned, and I'm just so blown away to remember what I thought was happening at that time. When I had that initial investigation where I was told to meet this social worker outside of the courthouse, on this day, and I had no idea what it was even going to be, or what I should have done or said or not even shown up. And, I'm going into details, thinking that this is really going to help me. If anything, the more I spoke, the more I was like crucifying myself in a way. And I had no idea. I mean, it's just so sick to think how real. I used to joke with Mr. Davis. Darren, I think, remembers. I used to say, Mr. Davis, I'm going to step outside the courtroom and I'm going to have a little table that's like set up about your information and like pass out free copies of your book or something. Because again, I feel like if we told these parents, like, listen, they're about to do this, and this. No, they won't, And again, it's like towards the end of my case, I really was like, they are really about to do what they're going to do. Like, and I'm too late to showing up to try and act like I'm going to try and stop it, But I guess that's again why I do these shows. I feel like it will hit somebody one day and maybe hopefully make a difference. I don't know.
Well, I think that a lot of people have the nerve at that right time. Like if you said we're going live right now, they would do it. Here's the thing. You got to remember, people are still traumatized. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not traumatized because I will chew them up and spit them out because I've been doing this too long. I already know your pattern.
Well, yeah, maybe when I do it that many years, I fight with you like that too.
I will traumatize them. Believe that.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, me and Darren, one of our shows, Darren was still getting to know my personality. And I had just watched Criminal Minds, right? Right before the show came on. And we were talking about when CPS wants to come in and do a home visit, they want to look at everybody's bedrooms. I said, Darren, if they ever tried that with me, my friend, my girlfriend, my client owns a sex store down the street. I will borrow everything out of her store and my room will look like a dungeon. I guarantee you they will never walk back into another parent's bedroom. I promise you they won't.
It's funny though too. Well, because too, it's like the more you know about them and their ways, it's like again, David was saying, he goes, how can people like basically come up to me and like say like, oh, you don't know this or you don't know that? I forget how he said it, but he was like, you know what? I think this is how I put it. He filed for divorce or whatever, I think back in 2012, he said, or 2014. And he goes, and look, we're still here today. And I still can't get divorced from her. Like, he goes, who does that? He's like, basically, it's lasted as long as I've been in school, from like kindergarten all the way to college. Darren's like, you got an associate's in it or whatever. I don't know. Maybe I'm saying it wrong. But I mean, again, it's just like, the more you're into it and the more you see all the corruption and the constant case after case that is just so similar, just with a different name, you might as well say. It's almost like you hear these stories where the parents are really in the beginning of it and so naive, and the questions that they ask or the statements that they make, you're like, oh, you have no idea. Like, you're almost just like, let me take you in for a couple hours and really let you know like what you're really going through or about to go through. And it's just so sad because again, this should not be going on. It should not even be close to what is going on. And it really needs to stop because the kids are obviously the ones that are affected the most at the end of the day. But yet these are the ones that we're supposed to be protecting.
Well,
it's crazy.
They have a pattern, right? Once I learned their pattern, it was over. They were done. I've had more CPS cases than anybody I know, and I've won all but one. And that's the one that got me started. I mean, they would call me on my phone and be like, we just went and talked to your daughter. I said, you better never, ever talk to my child without me there. Do you understand me? I will sue your ass. Oh, well, we're going to come do a home visit. I said, your home visit better be in the middle of that street because you stepped foot on my property. I told one social worker I would blow a hole bigger than the Grand Canyon through her if she stepped on my private property. I swear to God.
They didn't take that as threatening.
And I just got off parole for a violent crime. They should have taken me seriously. They took me seriously. They just never charged me. But I meant
They
every
never
word
showed
I said.
up. They took you seriously. They never showed up.
No.
Oh
I remember
man.
I smacked my daughter on her leg in the school called CPS. I marched my fat ass right into CPS and said, let me tell you something. We are a corporal punishment state. Stay out of my business. She doesn't have a bruise and she deserved what she got. Never heard from him again. My son ran away. The police came. Now, my son used to run away and go to Pizza Hut. I don't know what his fascination with Pizza Hut was, but he would run away and go to Pizza Hut. So somebody saw him standing out there and called the police. Well, the police officer took him downtown. Well, he also called CPS. I get there, my son said, I'm sorry, Mom. I said, what are you sorry for? He said, because they're here.
Because I wanted
This is
pizza.
exactly, no, this is exactly what I told that man. I am not a drunk. I'm not a drug user. He's healthy. He ain't bruised. We're leaving. Do not contact me ever again. And I
for dinner.
walked right out of the police department with my son and never heard from them again.
Oh man. Does he still like pizza?
Loves it, but now he goes to Papa John's.
He's like, I'm traumatized from pizza. Too many flashbacks. Oh man, that's funny. No, but that just goes to show you too, when CPS gets involved, I swear it's like 9, if not almost 10 times out of 10, that they're getting involved with the wrong families. They're getting involved with the families they want the children of, because of course they want to adopt them out, and it's like selling merchandise. We want the more like name brand kids. I hate to put it that way, but it's the truth. They don't want all the kids that are being neglected and abused and on drugs and blah, 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 because they won't get that dollar value for that type of child. And it sucks, but it's true. Like, they just want to mess with the families that really don't need any kind of messing with, if that's what you want to call it. And then you always hear the stories.
Well,
Mr. Davis, go ahead, and then I'll say something.
Here's the thing. The night they showed up in my house, they were looking for my daughter because they knew she was scared, right? But you should have seen their face when they got me. Okay? Their whole world crumbled because they knew I wasn't going to back down. So my point is, I don't care how scared you are of them. They can sniff it out like a dog. You have to be more aggressive, and they're going to be like, oh, she's belligerent, she's aggressive. It doesn't matter. You're here to take something that does not belong to you, nor does it belong to the state. It belongs to me. And unless you have a warrant or a removal order, because a removal order is different from a warrant. Even with a warrant in the state of Virginia, even with a removal order in the state of Virginia, if the child is inside the home and they cannot get a warrant to get in the home, they have to take the child when you go out in public. So here's the thing. You as a parent need to learn how to maneuver around these conniving evil devils. And that's what we did. We only went out at night. We only pulled in the garage, right?
No running away to Pizza Hut. I'm kidding.
Because
I'm kidding. No, yeah.
They were relentless. I have my house is surrounded with cameras. You could see the social workers riding by. They got my tag numbers. They were doing all kinds of stuff. And my husband would sit right in his Amish buggy that he's got. Okay, he's got a horse buggy out front. And he would watch them.
Oh man! But what's the difference between the warrant then and the emergency removal? The warrant, obviously, you have to have to get in the house. But what does the emergency removal do? Like, how do they get the kid with that?
Well, here's the thing. Like I said, here in Virginia, even with an emergency removal order, unless the child is in public, they don't have probable cause to enter your home, even with a removal order. Now, if they're lying, it's on their body cam footage. Thank you, officer, because I did not know that. And here's the thing. The difference is a removal order is to remove the child. A warrant is to actually get into your home, and they don't have probable cause.
But let's say they have the warrant to get in the home. Do they also need the emergency removal order to still take the kid? Or the warrant is sufficient enough?
Right. This is what the officer told the CPS worker that night. Even with the removal order, we don't have probable cause to get a warrant to enter the home.
Okay. So you kind of need both. Right? Yeah. Which they usually never have either or, and they don't even show you if they do. But they still make their way in, apparently, somehow, some way. No, I was going to say something about Mr. Davis. Go ahead.
If people are scared.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because they're scared because they don't know that they can say no. Right?
You can say no.
What'd you say, Darren?
I said it's all voluntary.
You have a little cartoon thing that you have at the beginning of your show. I laugh hysterically at that because the person you have portray as the cartoon of the social worker and then the returning social worker are like all black, like demon looking and like Missy T's and I was rolling. I was like, okay, he made the dad look real like a typical everyday at home dad stressed out about kids. Toys and stuff everywhere, but then the social worker. You couldn't have made them look more evil than what they did. It was funny. But basically, it's a cute little, 2-minute commercial, letting parents know. I wish you could get that out on, regular TV. Can you imagine? It would intrigue people, number one, because it's like a cartoon anime type looking thing. But the way you have it start off and say with such a short amount of words, hits it, right on the nail. Do you feel this way? And you look at the dad you're like, yes, I'm worn out. I'm tired. Kid stuff everywhere, food everywhere. It looks like you're a horrible parent, but really you're just worn out from taking care of them or working or whatever. And then you're and then CPS knocks at the door. It's all suspenseful. And then there they are all looking like they're the devil because they are.
I meant to tell you that I thought that was the cute thing. And the other one that we did too, where you were telling the kids their rights. I like both of those.
Yeah,
I keep bugging Darren for a song maybe for my show.
I'm working on it.
Or I even hinted that. I said the title. I'm echoing again. I said the Tiffany of the song or something. The theme should be Tiff and the Punisher go on a field trip. Because it's the field trip show that you guys go on. And so, I don't know.
No,
I don't know what else you have to talk about. We have 20 minutes left.
Well, I just want parents to understand that they need to read the Constitution. I don't know if you saw when my dad came on. Did you see when my dad came on?
I did, but it looked like they were having technical difficulties, and then I forgot to go back and watch it to see if it worked out. So it went through.
Oh, it worked out.
Okay, then I have something to watch after this now.
So I said, Dad, once I finally got him, I said, Dad, so we have judges telling us that the Constitution doesn't apply in the courtrooms.
Oh, yeah, I heard you say this yesterday on the other show. Go ahead.
I would laugh, flick them the bird, and walk out. That's what he said. I said, but they could go to jail. He said it's an unlawful detainer. It's a freedom of expression or freedom of speech, one of the two. See, my dad is a very constant. I loved when he was a police officer, right? Because he was the constitutional police officer. You can believe. Why do you think I know so much, right? Because that used to be our bedtime stories, the Constitution. Right? We started young and he knew it was boring and it would put us to sleep.
Yeah, but you obviously learned something.
Oh, I did. But my sister called me all the time.
Your sister married the Constitution, right? The senator.
Well, she married the senator.
Yeah, so she listened to the bedtime story. You get what I mean? You were like, well, at least I listened and paid attention. Well, she didn't ask for it.
Yeah, God bless her soul. I love my sister to death.
That's funny. I made a cartoon for you guys too. And that was so identical of what you two look like in a cartoon figure. I had never seen your dad before, but it matched up once he came on the show, but that was cool. And then your sister was like, which one am I? And you're like, the one in pink.
I love my sister. I could not believe she asked which one was her.
I couldn't either.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. Like, you even have the beanie on your character. Like, hello. But that
Right?
just goes with her. Like, I hate to say it, but she's a little, like, blonde, I guess.
She was having a
And
blonde
for
moment.
cartoon, she was very blonde compared to your blonde shade.
I want
The bleach blonde.
the glasses on her sister. I got to put her sister's glasses on her. Then maybe she'll be able to tell the difference. Get her glasses. Oh, that'll be the next ones.
Oh my God, she's
Hey,
just
so when is
hilarious.
that article supposed to? When is that article supposed to come out in that newspaper?
Well, because I told her that we were telling her facts; these were not opinions, and I was sending her everything that we talked
Yeah.
about. So she said I emailed her so much stuff. She said, "Can you please stop emailing me?"
Can you slow down? She's like, this article may never come out. But no, I want to say about that too. It was weird to see somebody ask you guys questions that kind of obviously is coming from that group of normal people that don't really know what's going on. But even the way she would pose her question, it was like following what CPS is about. Like she was reading between the lines. But the way she would ask the question is like, so you mean to tell me that they're basically really taking kids for money? No? And you're like, yeah, good job. Like you followed. It's not hard. And then Darren would bring up a statement of like, look at the overall deficit. What would you say? Like the numbers. I forget how you say it. But basically they equal out. Like where a city is doing bad in money, they just take that many more kids to even it out. Right?
It's the capita. Isn't that what you said?
Yeah.
Isn't that what you said?
Yeah, the per capita or the budget, their budget deficits, things like that. You know, like you could just take a look. All you have to do is look at the number. Every state has a thing called the open checkbook, and you can go into the open checkbook and run these things. Run your caseworkers' names, for instance, and you can see how much your caseworkers making there and what they're doing. But every state has it. Go online. It's called the open checkbook. You can find out what they're doing, what they're making their money on, what they're spending it on. All kinds of things. And all you got to do is just a little research yourself to know that these numbers that they're putting out there aren't right. It's very, 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 very much off. And, shame on them for reporting it wrong, because maybe people would pay attention a little bit more if they got the numbers right. But, they're not. So you got to do it yourself and investigate. And maybe some people are just too lazy to do so. So we got to let them know what's going on.
Okay, so it's me that's echoing because I just muted myself. But real quick, I'll say this, and then you guys take over for the end because it's annoying, I know. The journalist that David Weigel said he's working with, Richard Luthman, I think I wrote down. I was kind of picking around and being nosy about who this guy was. He is somebody that you really want to look into about all the articles he's posted recently. Oh, it's frustrating me. Sorry, guys, with the echo. But anyways, I'll just kind of end it there, and then you guys can talk over for the last 10 minutes if you want, but maybe it's gone away. Richard Luthman is a journalist that, no, forget it. You guys can take over. Is it annoying for you guys? Because it is for me.
I don't have
the echo. You don't hear it?
I hear it. I have reached out to him. And Dave is going to reach out to him again because apparently the email that I did send him, the first email, they no longer use that email account anymore. So Dave is going to reach out to him because he knows that I want him to come on Tip and the Punisher.
Because also what I was going to say earlier, Mr. Davis is doing office hours every morning at 6:30. He's the attorney that I do the show under. And it's only for 30 minutes. And he's doing it in a way where he brings up different topics. The first topic that I think he talked about on Monday was something about he's going to be becoming involved with this other attorney out of Pasadena that just filed a lawsuit with, I believe it's LA County, DCF, for like $75 million. It's a story that's based on a Lancaster. And I read the story and wow. I mean, it's like any other story, but a really wow one type of thing. And he basically, I forgot what else he said about him in this case, but I think he's going to be maybe hooking up with him or linking with him. And he's going to come on and speak about some stuff. But he also is one that used to do law in a different field, like totally not CPS. But then he got affected one day with his daughter being born and going the Christian fellowship way and being told to do his law in a different field as far as this. And then he came across one big story not too long ago that he won. And ever since then, he's been really trying to fight more cases that are like for families that would never be able to give their own attorney in horrendous kind of cases where death has occurred for children. So, oh, it's echoing so bad. But anyways, maybe you guys can look into that too if you want to read some stories about, things that are happening. Really, I feel like a lot more stuff is starting to come about, which is a good thing. But we just got to keep this fight up and do what we're doing. Okay, Tiffany, if you want to close out the show, say what you want to say. This is bugging me. Sorry, guys.
Go ahead, Darren. I've been talking the whole damn time. You normally talk.
No, it's fine. I like it. I like it. It was nice. No, I just wish more people would pay attention to the real numbers. That's what people need to do. Look at your state checkbooks, open checkbooks online. Go look at those numbers. Look at the numbers of your local budgets, things like that. And then look at the amount of kids that your area CPS is taken into. Why is there an increase every year? Oh, there's an increase because they got to meet like a 4% margin of the drop that they had on their budget. That's what's happening. They're offsetting the budgets with taking our children. And if you don't believe me, look it up yourself. The facts are right there for you guys to look at. So check that stuff out for sure. People need to pay attention and realize that this isn't a white, black, brown, pink, gay, straight, girl, boy, any of this issue. If CPS wants your kids, they're going to come and get them. So everybody needs to pay attention and let everybody know that this is a real thing, because it's not going to stop until we make it stop. That's the facts.
Amen.
Real quick, again, speak about your shows.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, we have, actually tonight, Bringing Back Brenda's actually on here in the next 10 minutes, but youtube.com /@abolish CPS is the channel. We have all kinds of shows on. We're trying to fill up it 24/7. So if you got show ideas, or you think that you can host a show, you think you got what it takes, or the stories you have, email us at do Tiff and the Punisher, right? That's easier. tiffinpunisher@gmail.com. That would be where you can send it. So TIFFINPUNISHER
Good job.
That sounded very dirty. But, yes, do that, and we can let's do it. Let's win this fight.
Tiffany, you want to say anything else?
Yeah, Darren. We're going to do a show early tomorrow in the early afternoon before 3 because I got a meeting tomorrow night. That's it.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Because Darren's a little bit hard to get a hold of, so when he got his attention.
You own me in, you gotta get what you get.
I'm just messing with you, Darren. You just become so popular.
Yes, Mr. Popularity over here. That's what I am.
When I send him a message, I have to send it through Facebook and cell phone and be hopeful that I get it through one of them.
If you get it back, you're somebody, So.
Oh, man. All right. Well, I don't have much more to say because the echo and it probably is annoying for other people here. But the people I talked about earlier today are, really some, I feel like, good people that you want to research and have, knowledge of CPS and what's going forward and get that hope, fire lit back in your life. Because lately I've just been feeling at that point again where I'm just like, man, is this ever going to end? And I look at it the way where my kids are missing out on the quality time. Like, my kids have not even been playing a sport because my mom won't take them. And it's like, man, like, they're getting in those prime years where, like, they want to play basketball at school or they want to, do this or that. And it's just like their life is being wasted away, I feel like. And it's just like, is it ever going to end? But then again, I get, videos like last night that you guys did with David, and you get like lit up again. Like, okay, there is a end to this tunnel, hopefully, but. Okay, everyone, I'll be back next Wednesday, 5 p.m. Pacific time. Contact the number or email in if you want to be a guest. All right, thanks, Tiffany and Darren. See you next week. Go Trip. All right, bye, everyone.
Bye.